Thank you. Namaste. I live on a beautiful ashram in Sebastian with my guru. She adores you, by the way. And I love to manifest. I'm guilty of wanting.
Good. That's why you came into this physical body rather than remaining here with us. In other words, this is the leading edge. Manifestation is the furthest expression of spirit. It's not a step back from it. So don't feel guilty. It's the leading edge of spirit, of source, of creation.
So my challenge, my wanting, how does it come faster with my own, I guess, impatience?
Well, impatience is the indication of the thought that's slowing it down. So what are you impatient about?
That it's not here now?
So it not being here now is the object of your attention. What are you adding to when you are impatiently noticing that it's not here now? What's getting bigger? The not here nowness.
Yes, ma'am.
Interesting, isn't it? So we'll just throw it back to you. How would you soothe an impatient impulse? How can you change an impatient impulse to a patient one? It's going to surprise you. The answer is try less hard. Because it's only in the trying and in the struggle that the impatience becomes more specific. Sometimes people say, "Oh, Abraham, thank you for being so patient with me." And we always say, we don't have to be patient in the vortex. In the vortex, everything that you want already is. So we just stand in complete enjoyment of the completeness of that which you are. So we don't feel impatience. But what a literal feeling of impatience is my in this moment awareness that I'm not letting myself be all that I am. Not I'm not letting myself manifest everything that I want. It's that I'm not letting myself be all that I am. You're impatient because the source within you never feels impatient. Negative emotion always means the same thing. It always means this. My point of view on this subject that's active in my mind right now varies from my source energy, inner being's point of view. So when you feel impatient, I'm not good enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not smart enough, disagree. I should be better than this, disagree. I should be more than I am. Your inner being is never going to agree with you as you degrade yourself in any way, you see. So what's impatience? It's an emotional indicator that in this moment you have a vibration active that's keeping you from what you want. Sort of a full circle thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's why I'm impatient. It's keeping me from what I want. And we say, well, finally you just have to say, you just have to soothe yourself into less and less impatience and to more and more patience. But patience isn't necessary inside the vortex. So you say things like, well, many things are working well in my life and I'm doing really well. You know, as we visit with you and as we feel you, we want to express to you, because you're in a place now that you will really hear it clearly, that the opening things that you said to us gave the clearest indicator of what sort of stuck in your vibrational craw. And what stuck in your vibrational craw, as you were talking about feeling a little guilty about manifesting, that's what stuck in your vibrational craw. And we gave you the words, sort of hair-blowing back words to begin with, that you weren't quite ready to receive. So we're going to back up and offer it to you more slowly, because we really want you to receive these words. There is a tendency among those who are moving in the direction of becoming what they would call more spiritual. There is a thing that happens where in their reaching for more spirituality, they become sort of defensive of or abhorrent about manifestations, as if manifesting and being spiritual cannot be in the same place. And it's the reason that we said to you so strongly that what you manifest is an extension of this source energy, that you were with us, source energy, holy. And then a part of your consciousness came into this physical body where there was potential for some separation. Separation is too strong a word, but some varied perspective. The larger part of you remains in this perspective of knowing who you are. But here this part of you, this human physical part of you, came with the express purpose of exploring and expanding, because Source knows that without asking, there cannot be more. And without more, there is no eternity. And without contrast, there cannot be asking. And without asking, there cannot be more. And without more, there cannot be eternity. So it's all part of this spiritual, ongoing, never-ending, source energy, creative process of eternal becoming, you see. It's all part of the process. So here you are in your physical body, exploring the contrast. And sometimes, as you're surrounded by others who ask you to behave in ways that please them, you and almost everybody else you know loses sight sometimes of your connection to source energy. When you care about what somebody else thinks more than you care about your alignment with source energy, then your guidance gets more and more sketchy. And as a result, lots and lots of people, even before they turn strongly towards some exercise in spirituality, get themselves pretty much vibrationally separated is too strong a word, but resistant to the vibration of their being. And then they say, well, I know what I don't want. I don't want to be worldly. I want to be spiritual. I don't want to be materialistic. I want to be godlike. And we want to say that until you understand that we're all in this together and that there is nothing that you find here in your physical realm that is not an extension of the source energy from which you come, then sometimes you keep that place separated within you, which is the reason for what you described as guilt or uneasiness. When life causes you to ask, and then when you meditate and release resistance, and you allow yourself to flow into the fullness of all that you are, the manifestation is then the evidence not of your worthiness and not of your rightness, but simply of your alignment, you see, of your alignment. Your alignment. Nothing is more spiritual than to be in complete alignment with the source within you. Helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Can you talk about one more thing? Interpret time.
We will answer this fully for you, but before we do, we want to build just a very slight basis. Time and space are all part of the manifested reality into which you were born. And so time and space in that sense are all part of creation. In the same way that the material is part of the spiritual, then time and space are part of the spiritual too. We don't talk of time much unless we are having a conversation with someone like you, because our emphasis is all about the now, where all of your power is. In other words, you're focusing and therefore offering a vibration now, and law of attraction is matching you up with frequencies like it. And the source within you is focusing and offering vibration right now, and law of attraction is lining up compatible components there too. So the ultimate in the now experience is being in complete alignment with who you really are. The now is where you meet you, so to speak. And when you are in complete alignment with who you are, what a powerful now it is. When you stand in this physical body, fully present with all this source energy within you, you are influential in this moment. That's what we were talking about, Jesus healing and so forth. That's what that power of now really is all about. We like to think about or to refer or teach about time in this way. Before we gathered here today, the time, space, reality, and the all that isness was less than it is now. After our first conversation, there was an expansion of knowledge. All day long it's been happening. There are several things that the universe has expanded as a result of the cooperative co-creation that has been taking place now. Even as you sit here, this combination of beings has never been before in all of the universe. And the combination of that which you are, and that which you are allowing yourself to be, and that which you are presenting, and that which you really are, and that which we are, the combination of all of this has caused an expansion of the universe. So the universe is more now than it was before. It was less before, and it's more now. And that's the only way that we regard time, is in terms of expanded universe. Now, sometimes people say, well, Abraham, I've heard that there's no real linear time and that there is no time in the non-physical. And so since there's no time, I'd like to come back in the 14th century, or I'd like to come back in the 13th century. I'd like to come back last year. I'd like to come back before my wife left me. I'd like to come back to a former time that I deem a better time. And we say, first of all, there was no time that was before that is a better time. Because the leading edge is always the time, it is always the experience that is expanded to the fullest, you see. And so it is our promise to you that as you are returning into this physical time-space reality, you're not returning into past. You're returning into now and future. In fact, when you make the decision to come, this is interesting, we've not said this to you before. When you, from your non-physical perspective, like this new baby coming forth, when you, from your non-physical perspective, make the decision to come forth into physical, you're headed right for that vortex. That sort of explains a lot of things, doesn't it? People will say, Abraham, I'm sure I didn't have free will, or I would not have been born to these parents. I would not have been born into this particular environment. And we say, you were headed for your vortex. In other words, you knew that there would be contrast, but you were headed for your vortex. You knew that you are a creator, and you knew that the variety would help to inspire you to new ideas. And you knew that you were being born with a guidance system, and you knew that you would know. You knew that you would find your way. You knew that ultimately that you would return to the fullness of who you are. So you felt no risk, only eager adventure, reason coming forward, you see. So we don't want to say time's irrelevant, because your time and your space give you an opportunity to acknowledge your progress as you are creating. And it is a wonderful thing. In your dream state, your dreams are your creations too, you know. What you think and feel and what manifests always match. And what you think and feel and what manifests in your dream state always matches too. But don't you like the continuity of this time-space reality? Don't you like that in this continuity that you are able to incrementally come to your own conclusions and preferences about what you prefer? It's just the best situation ever. Source energy coming forth into this time-space reality to be inspired to specific things that you're putting into the vortex to be received and lived by you in the moment that you release resistance and allow. A lot of people have to croak before they return to the fullness of their vortex, you see. We think it's nice that you've figured out that you can have it all while you're here in this time-space reality. Helpful?
Thank you.